Hey everybody, this is Alicia and I am here to do an art lesson with you. I'm just double checking on my mat to make sure that everything is turned the right way. And it looks like we are, but there's a delay. So, first of all, I want to tell you what you're going to need. Let me adjust this just a bit. You're going to need these coloring pages, and these are available at masterpiecesociety.com/color. If you go there, enter your email address, you're going to get this sent to you, and inside are all kinds of templates, and we're going to be using 5 of these templates this week. So today we're going to do the chick template. Tomorrow, let me see. Tomorrow we'll do the butterfly. I don't know what we're going to do the next day, but I do know that we're going to do this bunny here. Where is it? Here's this bunny. We're also going to do this flower, and then, as I mentioned earlier, the gross beetle for any of the boys or any girls who like bugs. I don't like bugs. They make me want to run and scream. So if you don't have this template, you can just watch this video, and after it's over, just go to masterpiecesociety.com/color, download it, and then you can watch the video again. That way you can stop and start, pause as you need to. But we're going to create this cute little chick piece, and all you're going to need is watercolor paper, some watercolors. You can use whatever kind you have. In this one I actually used oil pastels, but today I'm going to show you how to do it with crayons. And then a little bit of gel pens if you have them. If you don't have them, then you could use maybe some markers. Whatever you have, just use that. It's no big deal. But I'm going to show you how, I'm going to take you through the process step by step. And we are going to transfer this pattern from our coloring book to, what I've done is actually taken a 9 by 12 sheet of watercolor and just cut it in half. Well, it was almost half, but I'm going to use this thinner one because that is perfect to lay for our chicks to be on. So let me move my watercolors out of the way. Now what I have already done ahead of time is just turned it over and I scribbled on the back. I did this with charcoal. I would suggest doing it with a pencil because graphite is a little bit better to underneath watercolor. Charcoal is a little bit messy, so if you only have pencils, just a regular pencil will do. So after you have on the back just scribbled over the lines, you turn it over, and I'm gonna center this. You're gonna hear the birds and the bugs and the rain because I've got my windows open. Let me move these crayons out of the way. Okay, so I've got this centered on my paper. I think it's centered. Let me move it over just a bit more. And what I'm going to do is take a mechanical pencil, and I've pushed the lead all the way up. So it's not going to draw, it's just going to give me some kind of like a stylus that I can just use to transfer this pattern. And all I'm doing is tracing it around, going over each line. And let's just double check, and now you can see how the pattern has been transferred. I'm going to move this over just a little bit because I couldn't get my phone to do the wide angle. All right, so now I've got my pattern traced onto my watercolor paper. And this is what I did first. I used oil pastels, but they were getting pretty crummy and sticky. And a lot of people don't have oil pastels, but most people have crayons in their house. So the first thing I want to do is decorate these eggs. You can leave yours white, you can paint them with watercolors, you can do whatever you want to, but I am going to decorate mine like they're Easter eggs. I don't know, let me figure out what color this one is. Sometimes, that's a cute one. All right, hold on a minute. Let's do this bright green. We've got an orange, pink, and a yellow. That's enough. Pick out your favorite colors, and all I'm gonna do is just go through and decorate these eggs. So basically, I'll start with this. This one is red violet. And I'm gonna make a rainbow egg on this one's head. These poor little chicks are still stuck in their shells, except for this middle one. He was smart enough to get out of his shell. All right, so that one was a little bit more purpley than I had intended. All right, so we'll go purple, pink, and then orange. Yellow, green, and then let's just go ahead and fill in that one. Finish it off with the blue. So this is going to create a wax resist, and you definitely want to do this first because this color will not be diminished by the watercolor when we go in and decorate our chicks. Let's go ahead and do this egg shell down here. I'm just going to do that all one color. If you don't have crayons, you can use oil pastels. If you don't have oil pastels and you don't have crayons, then you can use quick sticks. If you don't have any of those, then just leave it blank and we will use just watercolors. This one I'm gonna just add some polka dots to. You can use any kind of patterns you want. Okay, so I think that is all that I'm going to do with my crayons. So now what I'm going to do is take my watercolor tray and I'm going to use my spray bottle and I'm going to squirt it down just to activate the watercolors on my tray. And I'm using a pretty good size brush. You don't have to use a brush. This is a number 12. Yours does not have to be this thick. You can use whatever you have. And I'm going to go ahead and start with this little bird with the rainbow head. And all I'm going to do is come inside my lines that I traced with my brush. And I put a lot of watercolor on my brush. I like the vibrant colors. If you like yours a little bit more pastel. Wow, what was that? We're hearing crazy sounds. I got my windows open, so. If you like more pastel colors, then you don't need to put as much on yours. Olivia, I may need you to come in here and close these windows if it keeps on. Right now we're good. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna continue on. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't dipped my brush in my water yet. There was plenty of water in my tray when I squirted it down. And this also helps keep my colors really bright. So that's a trick. I think I need a little bit of water now, but I'm not gonna put a lot in there. I like more color on my brush than water. And I don't know, let me see if I can flip the screen because it looks like it's not right.
Yeah, it's mirrored.
Okay, hang on with me. Olivia, there's some comments that I can't read.
All right.
See if that fixed it.
Yeah, that flipped it. No, it didn't.
No, it didn't?
You're holding it with your left hand.
So the bird is still, okay, well this bird is on my left. The blue chick that I just did is actually on my left. And I am going from left to right just so that I don't run my hands through the watercolor. Is it flipped now?
Yes.
Good. All right, so now I'm gonna clean my brush and I'm gonna dip it into my bright yellow. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this little chick. Ooh, obviously I have something on my brush. Or maybe there was something in that. Let's try that again. I think that that is actually just dried paint showing up. So basically just coloring around. Yes, ma'am?
Well, I was just going to say that Mel Gonzalez said hi from San Antonio, Texas.
Hello.
And Julie Brown, she says, do you know what times you will be going live this week?
Julie, I'm going to do it at different times because we have so many people. It's just hard to get the times right. It probably will be afternoons. And like today, I was trying to get it done, start at 3:30, but that didn't work so well. But I was thinking about doing one in the morning around 10 or 11 Eastern, just so that some of our people from other sides of the world could get in on it, but I don't know. But I think that there is a little thing that you can click that when I go live, you get notified. Can you look that up, Olivia? See.
Yep.
All right, so apparently my yellow has some ickiness in it, but oh well. It didn't last night. It must have just been from overnight. But that's okay. And if you notice, I'm leaving their eyes and their beaks unpainted because I'm going to come back in. Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you to have like a Sharpie or some kind of black permanent pen for the end. And Olivia, would you please look in the living room for me? I think it might be on the sofa.
What is it again?
A black Sharpie. I forgot to grab that. And so now I'm going to do my last bird. And this one is going to be my favorite color, hot pink. This actually is called opera pink. No, opera rose, I believe. And I love how vibrant and pink it is. Thank you, baby. So also you're going to need a Sharpie, as I forgot to mention in the beginning. If you're just joining us and you haven't downloaded the template for the chicks, go to masterpiecesociety.com/color and you will be able to download 30 of our Masterpiece Society templates, and we're going to be using 5 of those this week when we go live.
Did you want the live notifications?
Yeah, do I have to turn those on?
Yes. If you click the little 3 dots in the top right corner, there is a turn on live notifications option, and so I believe that will
Alert everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
When you get started.
Live notifications. Awesome. You're the best.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm just gonna really quick color this in. Now, this one from yesterday, I actually went in with the white first. So this that you can see is covered in white oil pastel, but I didn't do it on that because I think I lost my white crayon. But I'm gonna just go back and color that in with watercolor. So I don't know what color I will use, but you can, before you do this with the crayons, if you want to cover it with white and then come back and put the dots of different colors on it, you're free to do that. All right, so we're gonna let those dry just a bit. This one looks like it's already dry, but I put a lot of water on that pink chick. All right, so now I'm going to get a lighter shade of blue, and I'm gonna come back in and just start doing the sky. It's different than this turquoise that I did the first blue chick in. Just very lightly going around. If your paper starts to bow up on you, it's not a big deal. Once it dries, you can flatten it out again. So you can come right up to this crayon mark, but I'd be very careful right in here because we don't want our blue to run in on this little yellow chick, or he or she will be green. So just be real careful going around that, even maybe leave some white space if you can. Let me just show you, if I accidentally came in and got some blue in my chick and I didn't want it, just take a clean paper towel and dab it up really quick. And that should take care of it. It's still a little bit green, and if it really bothered me, then I could go back over it with some of the yellow when it dries, but it doesn't bother me. I'm gonna push it down in the middle because it's, like I said, it's bowing. It's because I've got a lot of water. Whoops, just knocked the camera. Uh-oh. Touch this pink chick, and now we've got some purple going on in the sky. So we can just dab that up. with a paper towel or a cloth. Paper products are sacred during this time. Do not use toilet paper. Please don't use toilet paper. For one, you need to save it. For two, it would crumble on your work, so you don't want toilet paper crumbs on your watercolor. I like this. This is much darker. I actually dipped it in more of the paint instead of more water. So I can see that it's actually out of the thing now. I'm just going to come down to about right here because we'll come back with some green for grass. I'm going to add a little bit more blue right here. And I just did what I told you not to do. And if you go light like I did on this, it won't be a big deal. But I'm actually using a different color of blue, and I like this vibrant blue. Just going to come in and add a little bit more over here because I noticed it's much lighter. All right, so we need to bring this down just a bit. Maybe underneath each of the chicks' tummies. All right, so now we're gonna let our sky dry and we're gonna move on to our grass. What I did with my grass is used about 3 different colors of green. I've got 4 different shades of green on my palette. If you don't have that many shades of green, you can always mix your blue and your yellow and make up even more shades. So I have 3 here. This is my favorite. And I think this one is Hooker's green. I'm not quite sure, but that's my favorite one. And what I'm gonna do is just, let's see if I can put this in the camera. I'm just making strokes that look like blades of grass. I am coming up over this egg a bit. So I'm just taking my paintbrush and just starting at the top and dragging down really quick in short little strokes. I'm starting with my lighter shade and then I'll come back in with some dark. With watercolors, you always start with your lightest shade and work your way to the dark. With acrylics, you do the exact opposite. So now I'm gonna grab this one. I can't remember the names of these. But you can see it's a bluer green. So I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative with these because I like that other green better. But I just want to add a little bit of contrast, and it's going to blend. It's not going to stay all bladey looking because the paper's wet from our first line of grass. But just add in a few, and I'm going to see what it would look like after I just told you to go from light to dark. I'm going to see what it would look like just to add in a little bit of yellow here and there. I don't know if that made any kind of difference or not. And since we tried that, let's do some blue. Just adding in a little bit of blue. Just showing you how you can add different shades. All right, so let's let that dry. I'm looking to see if my chicks' beaks are ready. I think that they're dry, pretty dry. I'm gonna dip it in my orange. I would actually suggest that you use a thinner brush, but I'm just gonna, yeah, that's why. Okay, I was gonna use that, but I'm gonna follow my advice. Are you laughing at me, Olivia?
No, I'm not.
Olivia's laughing at me. Okay, so now I've switched to, this is a number 4. And this sad little bluebird. All right, trying not to stick my hand in the grass down here, but I already have. So it's supposed to be a diamond shape, but that chick is still wet. So this one looks a little better. And now I'm seeing that I forgot the pink chick's neck. So I'm going to very carefully, very carefully come in here with this tiny little brush and try to fill in under the beak. It may run into the orange, but oh well. So basically, we're done with the watercolor, except right here, let's just put a light yellow on that. I'm gonna grab my bigger brush again. Man, I went crazy with the water. I'm gonna just, you see this, I don't know if you can see this. It's very wet right there, so I'm going to take a clean end of my paper towel and just absorb some of that. And now I'm going to my yellow. I don't want it that dark, so I'm going to put more water on my brush than color. But all I'm doing is coloring in the egg. I'm going to try to be careful around this pink so I don't get too much orange. But you'll notice that all of the crayon wax is resisting, so you still see that awesome color. Of course, you don't see the yellow as much, but oh well. And it's starting to bleed into this chick right here. I'm just gonna dab it. All right, so I'm gonna turn this so that this grass and all this down here can dry. And I'm gonna take my Sharpie and I'm hoping that this is dry enough. So let me advise you to wait a little bit longer. Make sure your piece is really dry. Then you can come back and just start tracing around the shapes of your egg and your chicks. It's kind of hard for me to see. My hand is in my way. All right, so we've got that particular eggshell done. And do these fat little chick cheeks. And actually, I'm gonna wait, since I'm just now doing the beaks, I'm gonna wait on that, but for the eyes, you can just color them in and leave. I've got a piece of lint on that. But leave a little white dot. And if you forget to leave a little white dot, you can come back with a gel pen or a white Sharpie later on and just put that dot back in. I'm turning it back so I can make sure. All right. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Whoops, I went too far for that wing, but I'll just make the belly go down a bit more. Now I lost where I put the legs, but I'm just gonna come in here, and that's still too wet. Add them in. You wouldn't be able to see them too much because they would be hidden in the grass. I'm gonna flip it back around and try to do the yellow one right side up. If you notice, I'm not trying to stay in the lines. These are whimsical little chicks. It's okay if you get out of line. I'm still trying to avoid all that wet paint. So once again, let me turn it this way. And I think that I might be able to get around this one's beak. I have to come back for the claws or talons. So you can come through here and you can outline the entire egg if you want to, or you can just pretend like some of the grass is covering it up and just, like I did on this one, only outline a little bit of it. All right, I'm still just gonna oh, I took up way too much paint there, but I'm really wanting to finish this up for you. Well, that I got off. Whoops. Okay, so let's try to get this little bluebird, blue chick beak outlined. And this one, you don't have to worry about its feet, but it's still a little too wet for this one's feet. Now, what I did on this one was I came back with my gel pens, just trying to see, just to add a little bit. I didn't do anything to this one, so you don't have to do it, but if you want to decorate it even more, then you can take your gel pen after the paint has dried. I want to add a bit more pink back to this one. Still have orange in my brush though. So I'm just gonna do the center one for right now, and let's use this purple. And I'll do, you can do polka dots again or flowers, but gel pens are so much fun to use with watercolors. after watercolor's dry, that is. So this project could be as simple as you need it to be or as intricate as you want it to be. Let's give him a little flower over here. You can come back in and color them. I like leaving a little bit of the yellow showing through. And let's do, I outlined those in purple, but let's do some blue petals on them. Come back in with leaves if you want to. But I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I'm just sticking my hand through this green grass at the moment. But when it's dry, just come back in and add all the details you would like to with your gel pen. If you don't have gel pens, try washable markers. Just make sure that your watercolors are really, really dry.